Hello and thank you for joining me here again at Ready to Ride. This session is going to be working on your shoulder girdle control, which is a really key area for improving the consistency of your contact and making sure you can have a really light hand because you're strong around your shoulder girdles instead. All three of these exercises are going to be lying on your front, which I appreciate isn't necessarily the most convenient exercise position, but it's a really good position for working your shoulder girdles, and you will soon see why. So if you pop onto your front, the first exercise we're doing is an exercise called the hundreds. And you need to have your arms out to the side, straight. And for you doing this at home, you want to stay looking down at your mat. I'm going to face the camera so that you can hear me speaking. Your starting position is shoulder blades back and down so they come away from your mat. Lift your tummy away from the puddle of water and bring your pelvic floor lift up onto floor 3. You're then going to float your hands away from the floor and pat an imaginary puddle underneath each hand. The key with this exercise, apart from keeping your starting position of shoulder blades, tummy and pelvic floor position, is to look for that nice symmetry through both arms. And you think that sounds really obvious, but it's amazing how when I'm walking around teaching a class, how many people struggle to have the same speed, rhythm, height to their patting through left and right. Obviously it's harder because you can't see your hand as you're doing this exercise, but it's a really good test of are your left and right hands doing the same thing, which so often they're not. And if you transpose that into riding, you want your left and right hands to be doing the same thing without you having to keep checking by looking. Okay, so when you feel that you've done somewhere near 100, bring your arms down by your side. We're going to do an exercise called the breaststroke preparations. Once again, you want to do this facing down to the mat. I'm going to do it facing you for the time being so that you can hear me. It's the same start-up position of shoulder blades back and down, tummy away from the puddle and pelvic floor onto floor 3. This time you're going to float your hands, reach for your toes, and then rest your hands back on the mat. So shoulder blades, tummy, pelvic floor, float, reach, and rest down. And what you're doing here is activating some of your lower shoulder blade stabilising muscles. If you're happy that you can do that really easily, you're going to add in lifting your head and neck at the same time. I'm going to face my mat so that you can see what this would look like. You can see as I do that the movement is actually really very small. And that's because even if you're really strong through your core, if you try and make the movement too big, you will undoubtedly sink down through your tummy onto the mat and start to arch through your low back. So it's a small movement, really working your upper back and shoulder girdle stabilisers. And only do that harder level when you really feel you can do the first one easily. The final exercise in this position is the swan dive. So it's arms out to the side and elbows bent to 90 degrees. Same starting position with shoulder blades, tummy and pelvic floor. And again for you, head facing to the mat. This time, the first part that you're going to move, the easy version, is just moving your head. And I'm going to turn to face the mat just to show you how this would look. And you can see once again that it's a really small movement for the same reason as before. You're trying to avoid dipping your low back and tummy into the mat. If you find that version easy, then you can add on the arms. So it's shoulder blades, tummy and pelvic floor. And then as you do the lift, bring the arms into play as well. So you're bringing your head, neck and arms off the mat all together, all at once, but still keeping your tummy away from the puddle of water and your pelvic floor onto floor 3. As with the previous exercise, only do this one if you're really happy that you can do the first version without sinking your tummy into the mat, or equally without getting any pain in your back, because that is something that some people find they get. So I hope you find some of those exercises easy to do and really helpful. Join me again soon for a few more core stability exercises.